are live from New York. It's Saturday night. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Never Alone podcast with me, your host and friend, hopefully, Naledi Manu, and thank you for joining me today for another episode of the Never Alone podcast. I am so excited to be here, and I'm excited for this episode, obviously. So, quick pause. The last episode, I thought that episode was going to be like an hour and a half. And I was like, that is a long time. I was like, that's a long time. Hold on, just to make sure, I need to make sure this is still recording. I'm scared. Okay, we're good. Okay. Sorry. I was like, yesterday, the last episode was very long, and I don't know if it needs to be that long because most of it was just me talking about my life. But then at the same time, I was like, it had been 2 months. So I obviously had a lot on my mind, a lot to talk about, a lot to get off my chest. So I was like, it's fine. So in order to be efficient, but also still keep the nature of the podcast and be, super conversational, I was like, I'm going to try and put a timer on myself to see if I can have some sort of discipline and just create a really good packed episode with decent information. Anyway, that's none of your business. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. If you are new here and you have no idea who I am, hi, hello. My name is Naledi Manyube, and this is the Never Alone podcast, where we talk about literally anything and everything under the sun. And we have a lot of fun doing it. And I'm really excited for today's episode. So, wait. Let's first do a soft check-in moment. Soft check-in moment. How are we doing? I hope that you are well. I hope that you are happy. I hope that you are healthy. And I hope that you are taking care of yourself as you should. I hope you had a good day today. My day today was pretty good. Let's see. What did I do today? I've literally done nothing today. I didn't go to church this morning, which is not good. I just overslept. I just overslept essentially. But also, I have an exam tomorrow. I have a final exam tomorrow for my chemistry Chem 2 lab. And I kind of used this morning to study for that. So I was, because I did some last night and I was finishing off this morning. And then I kind of just laid. I don't even know what I was doing, honestly. What was I doing? I was laying, and then I did my rehab exercises as well. And then I was just watching more TV and YouTube. And then I dabbled into some work again and all that stuff. So I've been inside like 90% of the day. And then I went outside to do some Bible study. And then I went to this thing. And then I got like a comeback shack burger. And then I came back and I continued to do some more studying. And now we're here. Now we are here. Some of my roommates brought some friends and they're going to watch Wicked, which is obviously like I want to be there, but I watched it already for the second time. And also I kind of need to lock in. I need to lock in on my schoolwork. I'm so serious. Like right now, which I'm actually really proud of, I have a A- in my chem lab, but it can go downhill really fast if I do bad on this. So my goal, and honestly, like my expectation is to get an A on my exam. It's 50% written, 50% practical. Now I'm not like I've made it this far already, so I feel like I'm in a good spot in my chem lab. You know what's funny? For like the first, actually no, it's not funny. For like the first three labs, so we do the lab and you have to do a lab report. Nah. So for the first like two or whatever, I would do my lab report and I would see something about a graph. So it'd be like, insert graph, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what? And I would just not do it because I was like, it's one question. Like how many marks is a graph going to be? So I would only get like 88, 85 on my lab report. But I was like, no, like let me just do this graph. The reason why I mostly didn't do the graph is, I'll be honest, like I had zero idea how to use Excel, and they had on the thing had a video showing us how to do it, but I was like, I'm doing it, but it's not working, so I just couldn't care less. I did not put the effort, but I was like, no. You know what the Bible says? There was there's a verse, and I was gonna write it down, but I completely forgot. But it says something's Colossians 3 something, whatever. It says, work diligently as you work for the Lord, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to aim for excellence, not for just getting by. And I was like, I need to make a change. I need to make a change. And so I was like, I'm going to learn how to use Excel and do these graphs and get like proper good grading on my lab report. So one night, sat down. I was on Google, like how to use Excel simple. Like very easy Excel example, make a table. Like I had no idea. And then one day I got it, but I also realized the reason why it wasn't working in the beginning was because my Excel was set to like South African. So they were using commas when working with decimals instead of the point. So I kind of changed it and everything made sense and it clicked. And now I started getting A's on my lab reports, my grades going higher. See what happens when you actually try, when you actually put in effort. So yeah, I'm not stressed. I'm more so happy that I'm getting it done so soon. Also, like Wednesday, I have my anatomy lab final. That's the one thing, excuse me, I'm probably stressed about. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So that's what I've been doing. And now I'm here and I'm happy to be here. So after this, I'm probably going to watch Wicked with them and then do some more studying and then I want to watch, there's a musical called The Newsies. And there's also like oh my gosh, there's also like a old movie, and I want to watch that. So I don't know. We'll see how far I get. But I'm actually so serious about my work the day before the final exam. Anyway, I've had a decent day. I've had a restful weekend overall. Like on Saturday, our apartment as a collective, we were like, we need to clean. We need to clean everything. Obviously, I'm kind of in a state right now. You can't really see it, but I am still, post surgery. It's been like a week and a bit now. But my leg is still stiff. So there's still like things I can't do, whatever. So I kind of just cleaned my space. Guys, I actually should have taken the photo of how horrible it looked. It's actually a disgrace of how bad my room looked. Yeah, it was awful. So I cleaned it up because I hardly spend any time in my room anyway. I sleep in the living room on an air mattress. So like, yeah, clean my space, clean the bathroom as best as I could, and we just kind of we rearranged our living room, and it looks different. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it just looks different, and it's a nice little reset moment for all of us. One of my teammates and friends left this morning to play another tournament in Orlando, Florida. So she left. But yeah, so that's been me. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're happy. I hope you're healthy. I hope that you are taking care of yourself, and I hope you had a great day. Honestly, I hope you had a fantastic day. And yeah, welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod. And you know what? I forgot to say this. If your day didn't go amazing, number one, I'm so sorry. It happens to the best of us, and it's okay. Because you know what? Tomorrow is another day. We'll go again tomorrow with a good, positive mindset, energy, and attitude. Because why? Because that is what we do. We keep showing up and putting one foot in front of the other. Once again, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. So let's get into the episode. So obviously, judging by the title, I did this in the previous episode. I crossed off my goal list, 100 movies in a year. And I was like, how fun. Because I was thinking about doing a film club kind of vibe episode. But I was like, how fun would it be to talk about these movies and recap my year in movies? I was like, yes. I was like, yes. So I have my phone over here, and we are going to go on to Letterboxd. And this is my opportunity to shout out Letterboxd. You guys can follow my Letterboxd. You don't have to, but it's at NALEDI Watches, WATCHESS. And yeah, I just watch movies. I rate it. I put sometimes a review. It's not that serious. It's not that deep, but it's fun. I love it. So I watched 100. Where am I? I'm currently on 103 movies this year. Yesterday I watched Happy Feet. But overall I've reached my goal of 100 movies in a year. And I wanted to share with you like my favorite movies, least favorite movies, most surprising, most disappointing, kind of break down my watching in months and just talk about these movies because I love movies. I love movies. And I love films, storytelling, shows and all that stuff. So this is the perfect episode for me. This is my perfect episode. So before getting into that, I wanted to just like give a bit of a recap of my letterbox. If you don't know, like on Instagram they do like the 4 favorites. So here are my 4 favorites, and it's tough, guys. Oh, it's tough. It's really tough. But I'm gonna give my 4 favorites, and I'm gonna add 2 more because I feel like these 2 have to be there. But I can only pick. I can only pick 4. Okay. So my 4 favorites are, number 1, we have Soul. Okay, let me show you a photo actually. I don't know if you can see it, but number 1 is Soul, Pixar's Soul. My next movie is La La Land. The next movie is Tick Tick Boom. And my last movie is The Intern. Or is it just Intern? It's The Intern. Now let me give you my review for each of them. Soul, my first review. I've seen this movie at least 5 times. And every time I watch it, I learn something new. And then the next time I was like, 6th time watching this movie, could watch this movie on repeat forever. And that's true. Like I love that movie. Every single time I watch that movie, I'm like, huh. And it makes me like really, not sad, but obviously one of my favorite scenes, maybe one of the most well-known ones is like the one where his name Joe, comes out of the cafe when they're done performing, and he was like, oh, I thought I feel more different, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, I heard this story about a fish. Where this young fish also said, I'm looking for this thing they call the ocean. The ocean? That's what you want to know. What? The young fish goes, this is water. What I want is the ocean. And that's kind of, yeah, that's that scene. And it's every time I hear it, it's like, oh, whoa, in the beginning I was like, what? But I think to me, that's all about like perspective and how much, I guess, maybe how much value you put in things, but also your way of looking at things, and kind of appreciating like what you're in right now. Anyway, next movie, obviously, La La Land. My review is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie. I love it so much. And it's kind of like, I guess all these movies, I think La La Land and Tick Tick Boom, they have a theme. And also Soul kind of has a theme in a way. Like, when I look at La La Land and Tick Tick Boom, it's all about dreamers, people having goals, having big dreams. Like Tick Tick Boom, also one of my favorite movies forever is my review. It's like I feel so inspired every time I watch it, but also so heartbroken because you have this guy putting so much into this one thing he's been working on, and he thinks this is it, this is his life's work, whatever, and it's going to take him to where he wants to be. And once he finishes this thing, it's like, oh, he was expecting something to happen. Like, I made it. I did this thing that I was, I guess, destined to do. Shouldn't something come after that? Shouldn't I feel a certain way? Shouldn't something come after that? And the same thing, like, there's that same theme in Soul of like, Joe reaches this point in his career where he's like, this is where I wanted to be, but this is not how I expected to feel. And it's kind of the thing of like, that term people go like, it's not about the destination, it's the journey. And it's that thing of like cherishing the journey you're on in this pursuit of your dream that is really the special thing. But obviously, like when you're in it, you're not recognizing it as much. And that's why I say like Tick Tick Boom, it's like, oh, it's so good. Like this guy, and also the true story of Jonathan Lawson, this guy who never got to see his beautiful play Rent, which obviously, if like went on to be this huge thing. And it's just, I feel so inspired every single time, but it's so heartbroken. But it's just that thing of like, there's a beauty in creating something you care about so much. Like this guy did it for so many years. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it, like what came with that and how special it, and all the people that he brought together to do this thing, to spread this message and this project that he was working on. And, but then it's like heartbreak of like, oh, he didn't really get what he wanted or what he expected to come up after that. And in one of the last scenes, he gets that phone call from his manager, and he asks like, what do I do now? And she goes, you start again, or you write another one and another one, you keep going. And it's like, but that's the reality of it. Like, yeah. Anyway, I love that movie, and I remember I watched it the first time it came out. I watched like twice in a row, and the song "Why" made me cry every single time. It still makes me cry because it's like, ugh. Anyway, moving on. Next movie, the last movie is The Intern. I just think that this movie is a Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. Oh, I literally, my review is this is the perfect movie. It's the perfect movie, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It is literally the perfect movie. So yeah, those are my four favorites. Four favorites. We have Soul, La La Land, Tick Tick Boom, and The Intern. And my two add-ons are I had to put on like another classic animation because I'm obsessed and I couldn't decide, so I'm just gonna say both. Is Princess and the Frog or Tangled, one of the two. They're just so good. Then again, that's guys, there's a theme here. Even in La La Land, there's a theme here of being big, like dreaming big and being big driven, going after your dreams in the pursuit of that. Like all of these movies probably make. I guess you can kind of sense it in The Intern. Maybe not as much Soul. Well, yes, actually. And I just find that so interesting because I feel that. Like I feel that. Like I have this thing that I want to pursue so badly, but I'm so hesitant because of the pursuit of like, oh, it's gonna be hard, obviously, but it's also gonna be fulfilling. Like it's also gonna be fulfilling. So yeah, Tiana obviously wants to be this thing, and then Tangled, I have a dream, she's got a dream, you know what I mean? And then the other movie is 27 Dresses. Oh, guys, when I tell you I'm obsessed with this movie, Benny and the Jets. It's so good. My friend, roommate introduced me to it, and now that's like the probably one of the best gifts she could have given me is introducing me to that movie because I love that movie. Unfortunately, Letterboxd only has four favorites, so my two add-ons would be 27 Dresses, special mentions, 27 Dresses, and Princess and the Frog or Tangled, one of the two, doesn't matter. But yeah, okay, moving on. Let's break down. Let us break down my year in movies. So we're gonna start at January, and I'm gonna pick from every single month, January until obviously December. Favorite movie, least favorite, and then that's it. Basically, that's it. Favorite to least favorite, and then maybe if there's one that sticks out, we'll talk about it. But here we go. January 2025. How many movies I watched? My gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, 16, 17. I watched 17 movies in January. I'd say my favorite movie. So I don't want to say every single movie I watched because that's like a lot verbally. So I'd say my favorite movie in January was probably Spider-Man Far From Home. And then my least favorite is probably going to be Maria. Now, visually, stick with me here. Visually, Maria, stunning, unbelievable. What's her name? Angelina Jolie, amazing. Like, really embodies this. I mean, I don't know about this much about this lady, but she was like an opera singer or something like that, and she was super famous. And then something happened, and she was getting sick. Visually, unbelievable. But I was just bored. I'll be honest, I was just bored during this movie. Like I remember watching it and I was like, wow, this is like really pretty to look at. But nothing is pulling me. And I was just bored watching it. Like no offense, like I was literally falling asleep. So that's unfortunate. Spider-Man Far From Home is just an unbelievable movie. Tom Holland is like after coming from Homecoming and watching Far From Home, like that end scene with Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio and him just like cinema, cinema, unbelievable. And then special mentions, I'll say Carry On with Taron Egerton and what's her name, Sophia Carson, super entertaining, just a really good watch. It's like such a typical, no, like a typical Netflix movie. Just a great watch. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed that. Moving on, February. I did not watch movies in. What was I doing in February? That's so weird. That can't be right. I feel like I probably did watch movies, I just didn't log them down. But I obviously have no record. But I would have logged it down. I feel like anyway. I have no recollection of February on my Letterboxd. So we're just gonna skip to March 2025. I only watched 4 movies. Kind of lacking. I'd say my favorite was probably that. Okay, I can tell you the movies I watched. I watched Wedding Crashes, We Live in Time, Bad Moms, and Little Shop of Horrors. Favorite movie, I'd say Bad Moms. So funny. I no joke. Wait, let me see if I'm thinking of the right movie. Yeah, no joke. One of the funniest movies I've ever watched in my entire life. Like what's her name? Catherine Hahn, um, Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, just everyone in that movie is so funny. I can't remember the last time I laughed that much. I mean, Bridesmaids makes me laugh, but this movie, that so funny. Like my review is literally one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. We'll never get tired of this movie. It's too funny. It was so funny. Highly recommend. My least favorite, I'm gonna say, I'll say Wedding Crashes, but also I want to put We Live in Time in there because I mean I love Florence Pugh. I love Florence Pugh and I love Andrew Garfield, but I feel like this movie, I don't know, I just didn't. I really, I don't know. I don't want to say there was no substance to this movie, but watching the trailer, I was like, what exactly am I watching? Obviously, it's about like, grappling in every moment, being present because you never know what might happen in your life. Like, she got sick and the daughter was so cute. But I was just like, when I watched this movie, I just wasn't as impressed as I thought I would. Maybe my expectations were too high. Like you have Florence Pugh, who I'm obsessed with, and Andrew Garfield, who's amazing, and I don't know. Also, one of those aesthetic movies, like you get a scene and you're like, oh, but like the whole movie is like, like it was okay. Let me read my review. My review was, did Alma die? Well, if so, I hate the idea of her no longer being there, so I'm just going to pretend she's not actually dead to make myself feel better and prevent myself from bawling my eyes out. Also, Ella is the cutest little girl I've ever seen. She was so cute, the daughter. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. April, I watched quite a bit. Wow. Okay. Favorite movie of April. I'm going to say Made in Manhattan. Made in Manhattan, 5 stars. Just a great movie. I remember watching this movie. I watched it. I was in front of the couch, and one of my old roommates, she had this huge beanbag, and I was sitting in front of it, and I watched this movie after watching The Life List. Yeah, I watched The Life List as well. I remember that, and it was just like, it was just like the whole setting. It was just a great watch, like unbelievable watch. Like nothing bad, nothing not great, but it's just good. Like it's just like, oh, this is the like if you don't know what to put on, you don't know what to watch Made in Manhattan. You'll be grateful. And also little baby Tyler Posey was so cute as well. Least favorite of this month was probably, I'm gonna say, Two Hearts with Jacob Elordi. It wasn't bad. It was just like my least favorite. And then also I'm gonna put in, actually, why is this 2.5 stars? This wasn't that bad though. Yeah, it wasn't okay. Because I watched Captain America Brave New World and people were hating on it really hard, like very hard hating on this movie. But I watched it and I was like, it wasn't that bad. And my review is what Bucky said. Because he said they had this like heart to heart, whatever. And he said something. Anyway, my review is people like to hate. They hate too much. I don't get it. Can't we just watch and enjoy movies for the vibes? And I said I actually like Sam as Captain America. It works. But honestly, this movie was okay. Not the best, not the worst, just okay. And I said we need more Joaquin though. Yeah, he was funny. Like he was entertaining. Moving on swiftly. May 2025. Favorite movie. Oof, this is tough. I will have to say it's between 27 Dresses and Thunderbolts. I loved Thunderbolts. I loved Thunderbolts because it was different, but it was also still that Marvel like, and it was funny. Like it was actually really funny. Obviously, Florence Pugh, my queen, was in it, and then we also had, what's this guy's name? Lewis Pullman. So good. and just everyone. It was just like a really, there was a lot of heart to this movie, I think. And obviously grappling with themes that I don't usually see in Marvel, like loneliness, fear, anxiety, or like mental health in a way. And how they kind of tackled that in the movie while still being, Marvel and having all the action and the superhero stuff was just like really cool. And it was just a really beautiful watch. Like I think back to the scene of when when Yelena walks into like the shadow thing and goes into I guess like Bob's mind or whatever. And the real Bob is like kind of like, well, not the real Bob, but the other Bob is kind of like sitting in his room, like kind of like crying or whatever. And Yelena sits next to him, and they have this really beautiful conversation. And it's just like, I don't know, I can't really think of a time, like nothing really comes to mind where I've seen that in Marvel, like a moment of like focusing these two characters and the bond that they share and the struggle that they've been through. And it's just like, I don't know, it was just like different. And that's why it really stuck to me. Let me read my review. What did I say? Oh, I said I laughed a lot and I cried a lot. The perfect combo. Yeah, it was actually really funny. What's his name? David Harbour is so good. Such a funny guy. Least favorite of this month would probably be The Age of Adeline. Then again, it wasn't bad. Like it was just it was okay. June, my birthday month, I watched one movie, which is weird, and that was Manchester by the Sea. Oh, my review, heartbreaking, because it was heartbreaking. It's just, oh gosh. You see this guy, what's his name? Casey Affleck. I think he won an Academy Award, an Oscar for this, but it was just like, it's just hard to watch. And that's the thing of like when, I don't want to say, when movies show you, like, the most powerful thing I think for to me, and the most powerful thing is when a movie becomes a mirror, if that makes sense. Like, and that's kind of how I feel about Wicked. Like when I listen to and I remember watching, like I don't know anything about the Wicked musical. Obviously, it's a dream to watch it on Broadway one day, but watching I'm Not That Girl on the big screen, like I feel like I was like one of like three people in the movie theater, and I'm watching I'm Not That Girl, and I'm hearing Miss Queen Cynthia and obviously Alphaba like sing these words. Oh, sorry, sing these. I just have an assignment. Sing these words, and like I've never really so intently listened to lyrics, but being like listening to every single word, and I was like, oh my gosh. And you know what I mean when I say like when a movie becomes a mirror, like, and I think it's such a powerful thing and a deep thing to like see yourself reflected or see yourself represented in a movie. And I wouldn't say that's maybe the intention of the movie, but it's such a powerful thing when that happens. And I think that's such a beautiful thing of storytelling of like you see yourself in this character. And the beautiful thing is like you see this girl, like for example, I'm saying Wicked. I see myself in Alphaba being like, I'm not that girl. I've never been that girl. And it's just like this longing to be this thing, but you're just not. And it's kind of sad because it's like but seeing her prevail and become more of herself and kind of learn more of herself and grow into herself more is like, oh, like I can do that too. Like if she can do that, I can do that too. And it's such a beautiful thing to learn just by watching this movie. And I think when I look at Manchester by the Sea, it's kind of, I'm not saying I'm like, I mean, I didn't, because it's about grief and what that looks like. Like this guy, obviously, if you watch the movie, you know. Um, sorry, this guy, you watch this movie and you know, like, dang, like that's a lot to carry, and it's just like, and for me, obviously, not being able to relate in any way to feel that, like, deepness and sadness for this character, it's like, oh, and the worst thing is for me is like, this had to, like, the person who created this had to pull from somewhere. And I wouldn't say it's like an exaggeration to be like, there's probably someone out there in the world who is experiencing grief to a similar scale. And it's just like heartbreaking in a sense. And that's also a form of representation of like grief and what that looks like. So yeah, that's my spiel. July! Back to July 2025. Ooh, I remember, where was I? Oh, I was in Malibu. I just realized. I was like, I was in Malibu. My favorite movie of July I would say, oh, this is a tough one. Let me. I have to say, The Intern. Oh, guys, this is the perfect movie. It's just so good. It's funny. It's heartwarming. It's kind of sad sometimes, but it's such a good movie. And both Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro do such a phenomenal job. Shutter Island. Wow, great movie. I watched Fantastic Mr. Fox. Odd movie, pretty like weird movie, but I liked it. I probably have to watch it again to like properly listen. Um, excuse me. So yeah, I'd say least favorite movie. Oh my gosh, The Breakfast Club. Don't even get me started on this movie. I just don't think that this movie was good. I'm sorry, but I just don't think it was like good. So many confusing tones. First, like there's a moment where they're like these kids obviously like in detention, whatever. And then they're like friends and they have like this deep heart to heart. Then all of a sudden they're like screaming and they hate each other. Let me read my review. I said easy watch but also confusing. There were moments where it got really deep and I was like, what? Like what? I was so confused. Personally, and I've heard so much about this movie. So I was like, oh, this should be like good or whatever. But I just was not impressed. I'm so sorry. And then also I watched Where the Crawdads Sing. So good. August. I was to watch the bunch in August. I think I was back here. Yeah, I was back when I watched these. Favorite movie of August. Hmm. Favorite movie. This is a tough one. I don't know. I'm gonna say The Sound of Music. I watched The Sound of Music so long, but it's just so beautiful at the same time. I didn't realize that a lot of I didn't realize that a lot of the like weird things that I know, for example, like do, a dear, a female dear, right? I didn't know that came from The Sound of Music. And someone who is a musical fanatic and loves musicals, I was like, oh, I didn't I didn't know that. But it was just like two of my roommates are both like English, both from like England, and they grew up with Sound of Music. A lot of like people grew up with Sound of Music, but obviously didn't grow up with it. So watching that was really nice. So long, so worth it. Amazing. Julie Andrews, amazing in that role, and then Edelweiss, phenomenal song. And my review was, I think I could watch this movie forever. Least favorite movie. I don't know. It was pretty good. I would say The Princess Diaries 2. No. The Princess Diaries 2 or The Fallout with Jenna Ortega and Maddie Ziegler. Then again, I'm not saying they were bad. It just wasn't my favorite. Moving on. September 2025. Favorite movie of September. I'll say. You know what's funny? Actually, it's not even funny. I shouldn't be doing this, but one. Oh, sorry. One. My gosh. One, two, three. Three of the movies that I've watched in September were all watched when I was in this class. Mind you, the thing is now let me go back to this Bible verse. Work diligently as you work for the Lord. But guys, I have to fight my flesh every single day. And this sometimes I lose. But no, in this class, like this has nothing to do with my major. Like zero. And she's zero to do with my major. And it really irks me. It doesn't irk me, but it's so annoying when I'm like sitting in a classroom. And I do believe that there's value in this class if I really want to look for it, but just sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I don't know what I can get from this class. Like I really don't know. So take out my phone, put down and watch a movie. So I watched The Turtles All the Way Down. I watched this documentary, crazy documentary. I'm not even going to get into it because I obviously forgot some of it, but I know the spiel, the main nonsense. Unknown Number, The High School Catfish on Netflix. Oh my goodness. One word, sick. That was crazy. And then I watched Singing in the Rain also in that class. So I'll say my favorite movie of September. I'll say Mamma Mia. Can't go wrong with Mamma Mia. Like it's just a perfect movie. I don't know what to say. Least favorite, I'm gonna say The Turtles All the Way Down. Honestly, like Honestly, actually, not. That's not true. I don't get it. I was gonna say like I get it. Like people have things that they're going through, but I can't relate. So I'm not gonna lie and say I get it. I can acknowledge it, but I can't say like I get it. But I feel empathy, I guess, for the main character. But I was just like, it was my favorite movie. Good watch though. October. Favorite movie of October, I would say. This was a good month. I'm gonna call out two movies. I'm gonna say The Hunger Games, unbelievable, so good, one of the best franchises out there. Dead Poet Society, great. And then Corpse Bride. I watched Corpse Bride also in this class, and the music so good. I just loved it. Everything about it. I was like, wow, I love this movie. So those were really good. My least favorite of the month, I would say probably Descendants, The Rise of Red, or Hello, Goodbye, and everything in between. They were just like meh. Like Descendants. Some okay. I can really tell that I've grown when I watch I love the Descendants franchise, and I grew up watching it. You know, Dove Cameron and Cameron Boyce and Sophia Carson and all these people, whatever. Um, so watching it, like I don't know if they tried to replicate that style, but watching it now as a bit older, I'm just like, no. But it was entertaining. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just didn't hit with me at all. At all. Some of the music was pretty catchy. Some of it was just not. Was just not. Anyway, moving on swiftly. November, which is over in right now. I'd say so far my favorite movie that I've watched in November. I've watched only a few. I watched Happy Feet yesterday, so that was nice. But I'm gonna say Hunger Games. Just the whole Mockingjay Part One, Part Two, unbelievable, unbelievable. I forget how good these movies are every single time. I forget how good Jennifer Lawrence is. I forget how good what's his name? I forget how good. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Josh Hutcherson is Hutchison. Um, and okay, can I read you my reviews for all the movies? Okay, let me go to Hunger Games 1. My first review, 5 stars, perfect. Hunger Games Catching Fire, 5 stars. This is like the 8th time I've seen this movie. Don't judge, it's just that good. Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, 3.5 stars. I said, unpopular opinion, the score of these movies really drive and, dare I say, make the movie. Ooh. And then I said, James Newton Howard, you genius. The only reason I put 3.5 is because I feel like Part 1 is really, it's just like really political and it's just not amazing. I should have put 4 stars actually, but it's still good. Yeah. And then for Part 2, Mockingjay Part 2, I said, Jennifer Lawrence is a generational actor. But I mean, guys, her as Katniss Everdeen has to be one of the best performances of just like film. I'm just saying it. Like, it has to be. It has to be up there because every single, even like Mockingjay Part One, I'm seeing Katniss come out in like this the black outfit, and I'm like, I'm like, every single time I'm just like looking at it, I'm like, this is so like, it's so good, and just I don't know, she's just unbelievable. And then just touching more on the score of the movies, like I don't know what happened, but I don't know when or what happened, but like lately I've been kind of obsessed with listening to the music used in movies, and I didn't realize how much it does for the movie and even like a scene. You know what I mean? Like I'm like watching a scene, watching people like walk or doing something suspenseful or having like a deep convo, and I'm like, I wonder what this would be like without the music or different like tone of music and what that would convey to an audience. And the Hunger Games is just so it's dramatic, yes, but I think back to the beginning, Hunger Games 1, Rue's farewell. That piece is just And then going back to Catching Fire, when they're in Rue's district, they played kind of again in a different way when Peter and Katniss are on that, Victor's tour. They play like Rue's Farewell, but like in a different way, and it's like in there. Her theme, I'm going to say Rue's theme is like in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, wow. And it's just like, the music does so much for a movie and a scene and like how, deep it is. And I think back to my Oxford year, there's a scene where I forgot the character's name, but Sophia Carson's character and Corey Mulcree's character are at this like truck where they get this thing, these like this type of food, and Corey's character's like walking away, but Sophia's like, pouring out her love to this man. And there's like this moment of music where it's like they're like da and then she says something of like, what did she say? She said something of like, it's the messiness in between or whatever, something like that. And there's this like very distinct change in music of like, duh, and I'm like, whoa. And you can like feel it. Like if you really pay attention, sorry, I'm like kind of giving this weird vibe, but if you really pay attention, you can kind of feel it and you don't realize it until you actually pay attention to it. And I was like, wait, let me actually find it. Let me pull it out. My Oxford year. Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, I said, okay, this is my Oxford year movie. Once again, Sophia Carson coming through. Didn't like Netflix. People were like, this movie sucks. But I'm like, guys, why are we hating so much? This is a typical Netflix movie. Like, anyway, here's my review. Sophia Carson does it again. Got me crying on the plane. That ending. Also, the score. Just put the score. There's a specific moment and scene where the score really got me. It is where they're at Dimitri's and Anna gives a mini speech. The music in that specific scene is unbelievable. All caps. My heart felt that. I just wanted to say that. I love movies. Oh! And I don't know what it's just like the impact it has is so like I was saying the other day, I don't know who I was speaking about or whatever. But I was saying that today that if I don't know what to listen to, I just listen to like film movie scores. Even watching, I know The Hobbit has some really nice ones, and Game of Thrones is also pretty good. Actually, no, that's not true. I have never listened to Game of Thrones the music because I'm still like watching the show. But I would just put it on, and it would just kind of be like this soundtrack, and I'm listening to it, and it's like interesting, and you just like watch these movies, and you hear like the background music, like suspense. It's just anyway. Did I say what my movies were? Yeah, I'll say so. My favorite movie for so far for November is Happy Feet. Why not? Yeah, that's all I have, guys. Still a lot of year left. You know what I mean? So some of these movies that I recently watched, I watched The Whale. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Shout out Brendan Fraser because it's such a weird thing. I didn't hate his character. I think his name is Charlie. I didn't hate his character, but it's just like I don't know, there's this weird feeling I got towards his character, and it was just like I don't know how to explain it. But Sadie Sink also did a phenomenal job at making me hate her character. So kudos to her. Let me see what my review was. Oh, I just said wow. I watched Back to the Future recently, and I just thought that was a cool movie, like just a cool movie, Also like an easy watch. I watched Midsummer, just like a weird like what with Miss Florence Pugh, and then I watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, The Chronicles of Narnia, and then I watched Sister Act as well. Yeah, that's kind of been what I've been watching. So to kind of cap it off, and I don't even know, guys, I don't even know. So I need to decide what my favorite movie of the year. Okay, let me say this. My favorite movie of the year is So Far because there's still a lot of year left, and my least favorite. I think I would. Oh no. My least favorite, and then I'm gonna go to most surprising, and then I'm gonna go most disappointing. Okay, guys, this is hard. I don't know. And it has again. This is my rule. It has to be a movie I haven't seen, and I'll get into that a bit more like in a few minutes because yeah. Favorite movie of the year. Oh my gosh. Let's see. And it has to be a movie I hadn't seen before. I'm just gonna pick one I really enjoyed. One I really enjoyed is The Sound of Music. I really like The Sound of Music. Like that was just it was just good, and I'd never seen it before. So, The Sound of Music is my favorite movie of the year thus far. Least favorite, I'm gonna say it has to be. There was one that I watched I just didn't love. The Breakfast Club. Oh my gosh, yeah, The Breakfast Club. That's my least favorite. Most surprising, I'm gonna say Shutter Island. I'm gonna put two: Shutter Island and Corpse Bride. No, wait. Yeah, most surprising in a good way. Like Shutter Island was just like I was very confused for 85% of the movie, but then in the end they kind of like, whoa. So that was pretty good. Shutter Island, and then I put Corpse Bride. I didn't expect to enjoy Corpse Bride that much, so yeah. And then most disappointing. So sorry, but I'm gonna have to say We Live in Time. And it's not that I didn't like the movie. I guess it's my expectations as well. So I'm gonna say We Live in Time and Captain America: Brave New World. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's all I have really. Now, because I reached my goal, essentially, I obviously I'm gonna set another goal for next year, and I'm kind of torn between like two things. So my yes, I watched 100 movies this year, which is I think to be I don't think it's like that crazy, but looking at it now, it's like oh, I've watched quite a bit of movies. But a lot of the movies that I'd watched, I had already seen. So it's like, does that count? And some movies, I guess my thing was like, if I've seen this movie twice, then I'm not going to count it because I mean, like The Hunger Games I've seen so many times. It also depends on how I'm watching the movie. Like watching, is like pet peeve incoming. I should write this down because nothing irks me more is when I'm watching a movie with someone and they're on their phone. Like you're not watching the movie. Like I know there's one person who were watching a movie and it's on their phone. I'm like, girl, you're not watching the movie. And what's worse is when they put their volume on and they're like on TikTok or like Instagram Reels or something. So that really irks me. Let me write that down because I've got to save that for the pet peeves episode. On phone while, excuse me, is that while or whilst? While, whatever. Watching movie. Don't be one of them. Plus volume on, loud, unbelievable. It's just no respect for the art. Anyway, I'm kidding. It's not that deep, but still. So I'm gonna challenge myself next year. So I'm like, do I just challenge myself to 150 movies, or do I challenge myself to still 100 movies, but it has to be 100 movies I've never watched before, or 150 movies that I've never watched before? I think I'm gonna do that. So my challenge, my goal for the next year is going to be to watch 150 movies, but they have to be movies I've never seen before. Like I've never seen before. Like a lot of these movies I've seen before, I just watch them again. For example, if I'm looking at January, I mean, the movies I watched, for example, in the beginning, Deadpool, Wolverine, I think I watched those on the plane. Deadpool, Wolverine, Sing Sing, Saturday Night, The Notebook, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, I'd never watched before. That's good. I mean, these are all fairly new movies as well. So, Beauty and the Beast, I had watched. Knives Out, I had watched. Spider-Man Far From Home, I've watched. Spider-Man, I've watched. Guardians of the Galaxy, I've watched. Spider-Man 2, I've watched. Pocahontas, I've watched. So a lot of these movies I have seen, so I really want to challenge myself. I guess in March, all the movies I watched I'd never seen before. So I really want to challenge myself to watch movies that I have never seen. So that's going to be my goal for next year, though. I have a list. Let me go on my notes. I have this list. So when I was in Malibu, I obviously met these other guys, and they have Letterboxd as well, and they were really cool. So he also sent me a list of movies to watch, and I have my own little list. See, it says movies, and then the ones with the ticks are the ones I've watched. and then the ones without the ticks are the ones I still am yet to watch. So yeah, this will be really cool. Like, I need to watch The Devil Wears Prada, Hustle, Spirited Away, Columbus, Gone Girl, Fargo, The Invisible Man, Queen and Slim, The Prestige. There's just so much here that I'm just like a lazy bum. Like, I just need to do it. And you might think, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, what? Like, what are you doing? Like, my one friend, she told me when I told her about this goal, she was like, that's so like, she was like, talk about another way to like waste your life. And I was like, whoa. It wasn't, she didn't say it like that. She was like, what a waste of like time or whatever, whatever. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you know? But that's like a good point. Like, why am I so invested in this goal of like watching these movies when it literally, like, I'm not getting anything out of it? But that's the thing. Like, you remember in earlier in the episode, I spoke about being seen and like in watching movies. I truly just, and that's probably the reason is like for the joy, like for the love of it. Like, I love watching movies, learning, maybe like seeing myself in these movies in characters, just like even like when I think to like Made in Manhattan, like what a feel good movie. Like, who am I to rob myself of like feeling good? Like, what? You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a fun little thing. And also like because I love movies and films and storytelling so much, it's like it's fun. Like, it's really fun when I get to watch movies and feel pure joy out of like watching and doing these things. You know what I mean? And I just love it. And in the previous episode, I kind of made a list of some of my goals. And yes, there were like some tennis ones and some sports ones, but there were also some like other ones. And I think it's important to, I don't know what profession you may be in or whatever you're doing, but like me right now, I'm very solely focused on like my sport and my tennis and performance. And sometimes that can become sorry, that can become really all consuming and like, oh my gosh. And it's easy when you could be like, objectively doing well at this thing, but maybe if you're like not doing so well, you're not feeling too good, confidence is low, it's like everything about you around you comes down. So to have like these little fun things on the side that I enjoy truly helps me and also just makes life just like better. Like, it's fun. Like, why would I rob myself from fun? Like, some of the goals that I have here is like learning a piano piece from La La Land. And also another one is like watch 15 movies, read books, write 10 poems, Like, I don't have to do these things. Like, I mean, I don't have to do anything, but I don't have to do these things, but I know that they make me happy and I feel a lot of joy doing it. So that's my reason. So yeah, that's the goal next year, is to watch 150 movies. And they have to be movies I have never seen before. I'm excited for this challenge. I'm actually very excited. I'm very excited. So number one, shout out Letterboxd. Amazing app. I couldn't think of obviously like I kind of log some of the movies on my notes app, but having Letterboxd there and also like reading some reviews is some people are funny, guys. Some people are funny on Letterboxd. I would spend like sometimes an hour on Letterboxd just like looking at movies, going down lists and adding things to my list and being like, this is what I want to watch, and you know what I mean. So it's a great app, and you should follow me on Letterboxd. Anyway, that's my spiel. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I unfortunately have to go back to reality and study. Yeah, get back to and study, and yeah. So this has been fun. I'm low-key hungry. I literally had a double patty burger from Comeback Shack for dinner, and I'm still starving. Guys, when I tell you, did I say that I'm broke? Oh my gosh, okay. Not that you need to know my personal problems, as my coach would say, a PP. Oh, my personal problems, but I have zero money. Well, that's not true, but I'm in a way broke. I have no money in my account. And it's been a struggle. I've been like eating. I made bread yesterday, and I've been eating like lentil soup basically I've been eating a version of soup essentially every single day because I can't like I would my cottage cheese is finished, my eggs are finished, like everything is just finished, and I just have no food. Like I'm about to struggle. But then I was like, I bought these jeans from Gap months ago, no, like 2 months ago, and they were way too big for me, way too big for me. So I was like, I need to return them. So I made a mission to return them, but I hadn't returned them yet. And then I was like, wait, I'm actually broke. I need money. So I returned them last week, and I got an email that the return has been received and that my payment is going to be processed within the next 10 business days. Now, that could be, I mean, who knows? But it's good to know that I'm not going to be broke for much longer and I can buy some food to sustain myself. Yeah, as of right now, yeah, I'm broke. I have no money. But as of right now, it's the 16th of November. I go home in in like 3 weeks. I go home in like 3 weeks. Crazy. And I was at this meeting thing, and we were kind of talking how it's the end of the semester and we're kind of approaching the end. Like this week essentially is the last full week of classes because next week is Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving break. And then after Thanksgiving, obviously, is like, people go home and it's just final exams. And I was like, oh my gosh, whoa. So, yeah, guys, next thing you know, I'm going to be at home in South Africa and, I'm going to be on the beach. I'm going to be watching a movie. Guys, Wicked comes out this week on Friday. But you know what? I don't have money, so I cannot watch it. And you know what? I'm not mad. I kind of want my first experience of Wicked to be at home. So if that's what it's going to be, then so be it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm actually going to leave now. I'm kind of just rambling and saying nothing valuable. If you've made it thus far into the episode, you're a real one. I appreciate you. I thank you. And I'm so grateful for you and your support. If you do, and if you'd like to support the pod, which I would greatly appreciate, how may you do so? Great question. You can follow the pod anywhere you listen to your podcast. Oh my gosh. You can follow the podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere. Leave a like, leave a review. Let me know what you think about the episode, what you want to see. I do value your thoughts. But if you don't want to say anything, that's fine by me, okay? You can also follow the podcast on Instagram at Never Alone Pod. I post it pretty occasionally. My goal is to post a bit more, especially since I'm going home soon, and I obviously want to do some fun things at home. But yeah, follow over there, and then the personal podcast account, which is just me sometimes doing who knows what, is at is at Girl From That Podcast. And if you could follow along over there, that'd be fantastic. Okay. I love you. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to be back. This feels right, doesn't it? This feels good. I feel like this feels good to have a moment to just sit, talk, and chat about things we love. Okay. Hugs and kisses, and I'll see you soon. Bye.